Alright, so this is a game that I played recently in the HMS Daring that I'll just talk a little about, and hopefully it will give a little light on some of the thinking that goes behind playing a DD. So right off the get-go, there's only two DDs. I see that our Shima is heading over towards Alpha, so I go ahead and decide that I will contest the other cap, which is Charlie. Now I look and see, okay, there's a Shima and there's Harugumo. I make note of the different radars that are in the game and see the different ships that are going to be supporting me at that cap. And so to kind of having an idea of the lineup and what I might expect going in. As you can see, I am running RPF on my DD. I like to run RPF in a lot of my DDs. I believe that it gives a lot of intel that's important, especially when you're engaging other DDs and ships you might not see. So one of the important things I think about doing DD is you need to be pretty familiar with your ship, what your concealment is, what your concealment after firing in smoke is. And for this reason, I'm kind of going in and I'm not sure if I'm going to be running into the Harugumo or if I'm going to be running into the Shima. If I run into Shima, Shima has 400 meters less than I do of detection, so that is a little bit of a concern. Now, I decided to go ahead and back into the cap, and the reason for this is it allows me to be able to disengage much easier and quickly if I need to, say if I'm spotted or if I'm radared. And of course I'm positioning the back of my boat to where the RPF marker is, because that's where I know the general direction of the enemy DD is, so just in case there's any torps that come, I'll be able to dodge them more easily. And also for that reason I hit my hydro. Now, I decide that I'm not going to continue backing up. If I was in a Shima or I knew that I had the best detection in the game, then I might go ahead and back up and spot him for my teammates, but because I don't know what is there, I decide not to. Now, with this Yoshino pushing up, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and launch some preemptive torps. I spot those 3 sets of torps there, which tells me that the Shima is for sure in this cap. So I definitely don't want to push him too prematurely until I know that I can. So yeah, with the Yoshino right there and Puerto Rico and Smolensk up to the north, I'm not in a position to push. And a booster also relatively close by. So I know exactly where Shima is. He's up by that island, and so I'm just kind of sticking around here and just wait and see what's going to happen. I hit a torp on the Yoshino. I see he's pushing around, about to come into my detection, so I'm starting to swing my guns around, be ready to engage him if I need to. I see he's starting to turn around, so I switch over to AP because Daring AP is really good. I get detected by Shima. I go ahead, smoke up, start firing my guns. I'm able to secure that kill. Shima smokes up over there. I look and see that there are not too many ships that are close by, so I decided that now is the best time to rush Shima because he doesn't have too much support. I decide I'm going to stay outside the cap to not really let him know I'm coming, but of course he pops up, and so I decide to go ahead and start farming him. And you can apologize for my poor shots right off the get-go, but he starts giving broadside. I switch over to AP, start APing his broadside, getting 3K, 2K salvos. I juke his shots with my acceleration. Switch back to AP to finish him off, and just like that, got the DD out of here. So now I see Harugumo. He's been kind of shooting at me, but ill-effectively. I see Kurfürst is kind of coming around, and I figure that he's going to want to go behind this island that I'm kind of looking at or zoom into, and so I decide to shoot some torps just past the island, anticipating that he might continue down there. And of course, he could pop Hydro, or he might not. So it's you're gonna hit no. If you don't send torps, you're not ever gonna hit him. Now Worcester comes up. I'm in his Hydro or his radar range rather, and so I go ahead and turn around. Mark him as important to focus. He's turning around as well, and so I go ahead and slow down. One of the things about juking is not just to go left and right when evading, but also to kind of change the throttle going forward and backwards. So I decided to go backwards here in order to try to stay in the cap. I know I'm no longer in his radar range. I'm tempted to fire at Harugumo. So yeah, Kurfürst was not running Hydro and sunk him. I'm tempted to fire at Harugumo, but I believe I'm really the only one spotting him at this point, so I'm just going to kind of continue to finish capping this cap. That's kind of the priority. I don't want to be reset. Puerto Rico pops up, and so I'm immediately concerned about radar, and so I start positioning myself over towards the other part of the island, just because I want to have an escape route in the case that he does pop radar. You always want to kind of have an escape route or escape plan when you're a DD player, because you don't have that much life to kind of play with. Now I notice my RPF's pointing up over here, so I'm curious if there is something that's going to be trying to rush around. I'm kind of keeping my options open here. I see Harugumo's firing. I wanted to use this island in order to kind of shoot over. I see Smolensk is pushing forward, but there's enough battleships there that I'm not too concerned. If he does push, I have AP ready and a smoke ready. I keep backing up. Conqueror detonates them. There's Harugumo, so I go ahead and start opening up. Since he's broadside, I use AP. I prematurely hit smoke here. I should have kind of continued on and been okay with taking a little bit of damage here, but the shot from the Hindenburg go ahead and finishes off the Harugumo. I move forward just in case he launched any torps, since my my Hydro's on cooldown. Go ahead and pop it, and now I feel comfortable pushing out. I see RPF is still pointing to the Puerto Rico up there. I see that our team is now capturing the other capture point over at Alpha, or no, is it Alpha? The other capture point. And so I go ahead and I start moving forward a little bit, just seeing if I can get some spots, get some ideas of what's going around. I don't want to push out too prematurely because my smoke isn't quite ready. And he comes up there. He radars me, and so of course I definitely don't want to push out. I use my torp indicator to see how he's accelerating. If he's gonna try to push out, I don't suspect he will because he knows I'm here, and a halfway competent player will not push a DD like that. I see shots from the Worcester coming in, so I know that I'm gonna have to try to dip and dodge a little bit. So I decided to go ahead and accelerate a little bit, turn towards him, and get in a position to be ready to possibly torp rush him if need be. His radar goes down. If he had Hydro, I suspected that he would pop it up now, but he doesn't, so now he goes and fires there, and now I know that I have the go ahead and start. I was initially going to launch torps, but seeing that he's such low health, I just go ahead and launch one or two and just continue to fire. Now I switch my attention over to the Worcester, see he's stationary, start launching some AP his way, and of course Moskva comes around and hits him pretty hard, and I just happened to get the ending shot there. RPS now pointing over there, so now I know the battleship is the closest one to me. I'm starting to reposition. I see our team's doing well. It's pretty much a landslide, so I'm just looking to get a little bit more extra damage. Now, I go ahead and I'm lining up these torps. I see he's slowing down. I suspect he's going to want to turn in, just because there's another conqueror there. But I also know he might want to try to get around the island. And so I kind of launch them as if he's going to turn in, but also give it the second set just in case he decides to turn out. I go ahead and launch smoke now that I'm in a position that hopefully our other conqueror can spot. He goes undetected, but because he fires, I'm able to farm him for the next 10-20 seconds, and the HE fire chance on this daring is pretty good. So as I predicted, he starts turning out, but unfortunately the Kremlin on the other side of the map sinks before these torps are able to land. Otherwise I'm sure I would have gotten probably my Kraken there, but it's no matter. It's not about always getting as much damage as you can, as much as it is about supporting your team, and that was pretty much just a game where I was contesting that cap for the entirety. So team score, I'm top of the team with 2200 or so base XP. Did pretty good damage to, as you see, Kerr first, Yoshino, Shima, Conqueror did decent amount, even with that allied aircraft destroyed was 1. So unsporting contact, however, that seemed to happen. It's rather humorous. But anyways, that is just a quick video on what the daring play is like, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas on some of the thinking that goes behind being a DD, having that map awareness, and trying to give yourself that escape route in the case that you do need to disengage.